Our guest today is Alex Boyd, who is based in Portland, Oregon. He is a B2B rabble-rouser who has spent a decade in the world of sales and marketing. He is currently the CEO of RevenueZen, a tech-enabled B2B marketing agency for high-growth SaaS and service companies that want to grow sustainably and profitably. He has recently released an online social selling course that helps professionals to predictably scale their sales to 7 figures without ever pitching their service. And social selling is the topic of today's discussion. So let's dive right in and welcome Alex to the show. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks for having me on, Buzz.
Hey, great. So you're busy. For some reason, I thought you were in Seattle. So I'd have no idea why that was, but
Easy mistake to make.
Oregon. Whereabouts in Oregon? You said Portland. Portland, Oregon. I've
Yeah.
not been to Portland yet. My mother lived in Lebanon. Do you know where that's at?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, it's out in the country. She had a horse
Yeah.
ranch up there. Yes, definitely cool. So social selling, I wanted to have you on the show. Full disclosure, guys, I have known Alex for over a year, almost 2 years now. We're in a mastermind of a group of marketing firm owners that get together and we chat about things all about marketing, right? So one of the things he introduced to the group was his social selling course that he released, what, about 6 months ago? Has it been that long?
Something like that.
Something like that. Awesome. I actually love those types of things and I suck at social selling. So I actually downloaded it and went and have been going through the course. I haven't got all the way through just because of my travels and everything, but a great course. I've heard great things from other people. And I was like, this is something that people need to understand because social selling is one of the things that are helping people through things like COVID and remote working and that kind of stuff. So I want to start off by discussing what social selling is. And then maybe if you could tell us what social selling isn't, or maybe the reverse of that.
Yeah. I define social selling as helping people publicly. A lot of sellers and marketers are used to either helping people privately, in the case of sellers, where they get on a call and that's where their best stuff comes out. Or in the case of marketers, they're used to promoting publicly, which is different. And so for me, social selling is just helping people as best you can publicly in front of others. Whether you help implement ERP systems, help run marketing better, fight security vulnerabilities, prevent app fraud, sell a sales engagement platform, whatever it is, if you are doing social selling, ideally you or via your company, you have some sort of special knowledge that should be shared with others. That's why I made this course. That's why I do what I do, is because I like acquiring knowledge and sharing with others after I've applied it. And that's what this is all about. And the funny thing about helping people in public means you get to have fun having a conversation and you get to do a lot of stuff that would take you one at a time work on discovery calls and sales calls, thousands at a time. So if I write a post that is what I normally say on a discovery call, and that post on LinkedIn gets seen by 5 or 10 or 20,000 people, I just preloaded a lot of discovery call work that I don't have to do anymore because they heard it there without having to schedule a meeting for it. And so that's what social selling is. A lot of people think it's doing the same sales or marketing lead gen activity, but on LinkedIn. And so a lot of people think social selling and they jump to post blogs once a day on LinkedIn and send as many connection requests and messages as possible. Now, that is not social selling. That's just promoting or automating or trying to generate leads or doing some sort of outbound. But that's not really what social selling is. And it's going to be way less profitable than doing it in the way that I just mentioned, which is helping people publicly.
Gotcha. So you mentioned blog posts. So I'm privy to your feed. And so I see the way that you talk. Can you distinguish the difference between a social selling post and a blog post that might be just informational and not necessarily a pitch?
Yes. So what a lot of people do on any social media is they will create a post, and what they will do is put a few words about what the post contains. They'll write a few hashtags, they'll link to the post, and they'll hit submit. And they'll think, that's great, I've done social media. Now think about it from the other end, right? When you post either your blog or someone else's, let's talk about someone else's blog first. I post my company's blog or some other blog that I thought was good. I wrote a few hashtags and I called it a day. What does my audience think? What do my prospects think about that? They see that and they think, oh, this is someone who may or may not have any original thought because all they did was share someone else's stuff. So, how are they going to gather that you are credible or that you could help them with their most burning pain points if all you're doing is sharing someone else's stuff? It's not very helpful. And you might say, okay, this is a blog that I wrote or that my company wrote. Great. But the problem with that is you're making somebody stop scrolling, which is what they're doing. They're on their phone doing this and they're scrolling through looking for interesting things, looking to learn, looking to be entertained. Think about why you scroll, right? And you're making them click on your thing and invest the time to let the page load, start reading through it. It's a big investment. They don't do it. They don't actually take that action very much. And if they don't go back to your LinkedIn post and then comment, and because you took them on this other journey off the site and you made them leave. And now you're like, no, come back and engage with me. That doesn't work. So what I do instead, and what I see people doing that are very successful, is they don't make people leave the post to get the value. They just write within the post the most valuable thing they can. So you're talking about zero-party data and the future of marketing attribution. You could write a beautiful article or quote someone else's article, post it, hashtag it, and submit it. Or you could just, in 3 paragraphs, write your damn best perspective on what that is going to be like. And then people can just see it right there. They don't have to do anything, click away and leave. They can just stay and engage with you and have a conversation with you. And when they have that conversation with you, everyone else sees that. And thereby you've helped people publicly. You haven't just taken them off to your website. That's the difference. And it's a really big difference. It separates you from posting twice a day and getting nowhere to posting once a week and having millions in the bank from this. And I'm a classic example of that. That's the difference between the blog post and the social selling or LinkedIn post in the way that I recommend you do it.
That's awesome. Thanks for breaking that down. So, I love the idea of keeping people on the social platform, right? Even LinkedIn has gone away from like articles, right? Like they found that people don't go to the articles as much as just stay right there. I liken it to microblogs, right? Putting enough information right there. And then once you have them and they want more, because you've solved their problem at a high level, and if they want more, you can send them other places to take a call to action, but it's not, obviously not necessary if they're going to get in a conversation like you were saying. One of the things that tuned into when you were talking was you said, instead of posting twice a day, which I hate, but what I'm liking that too is you said once a week. So a lot of people think even if they're microblogging in their feed which is what I'm liking in this too. You're saying that you don't need to give information every single day, but just once a week. Is that right? Am I hearing that right?
Yeah, I recently increased my frequency of posting from an average of 1.3 times a week to twice a week. And that
Okay.
was a big deal. It was like a big goal for me. Which sounds funny, right? Like you'd think, oh, social selling, making millions of bucks from this. He must be posting all the time. Imagine you're at a carnival and you're trying to knock down that bottle with a ball. What if you throw 7 tiny light balls at it and it doesn't do anything? Or you just munch those together in a big one and then you throw it, and that one is heavy enough to knock it down. Same thing when you're posting 7 times a week and they're all tiny little things and no one's getting much value from it, seeing anything. LinkedIn doesn't know you're valuable yet. That's not helping. Now, if you are able to plan good enough content to get engagement, to help people, and because your engagement is increasing and people are contacting you and saying, this is great stuff, let's talk, you're getting positive indicators like that, then by all means, you can post every day. That is very hard to do. It's easy to post stupid things once a day that took no thought. It's very hard to post good stuff once a day. That takes hours per month of planning. So if you just know how difficult it is to post daily, this is a big revenue generator for us. And I still don't do it because I have other things to do, because to post good things that often, it's tricky.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I post on LinkedIn, and I think that the listeners need to understand we're talking specifically about LinkedIn here because that's where we live in the B2B world. So when we're talking about like the length of that post, do you have a certain length that you say, if I'm going to plan a post that's going to be good for this week, what's the shortest that you're giving yourself, or is there a limit?
I've posted 1 or 2 line posts that did really well,
Mhm.
especially for like a tweet length thing that's just a joke. I've also posted things that are 600 words and do well as well. It just depends on what type of thing it is. The 1 or 2 liner is usually, I thought of a really good way to make this concept short and I didn't have to write a lot. One of the posts I wrote that was very short and got good engagement was, I wrote, breaking news. Studies show that 98% of buyers don't give a shit about the ROI you quote in your case studies. And people loved it, and it was very short. And this sums up like why you should not sell with that ROI and blah blah blah, just like a lot of people do. I
Uh-huh.
didn't need to expand on it. It would have killed the joke if I continued to write paragraph and pop paragraph.
Right.
But sometimes it's, here's a big update on the journey. I gotta just explain the last year and recap things, and that's more of, I'm gonna lay it all out. There's no fixed length. It's more about what exact experience am I trying to create for my audience?
Right.
And then how do I do that? So use your judgment.
Gotcha. And so when you're making those short ones like that, you're letting that marinate in the algorithm for the entire week. So you're just saying, "Hey, listen, this is the 2 lines I've got this week, and it is what it is." You're not following that up with another post a couple days later to expand upon it or anything?
No, I actually did a study using my own data and also data from Shield app that tracks LinkedIn engagement over the course of multiple days. And then you actually see the first few hours to the next few hours to the next few days and what that shape of engagement looks like. And a really good one will last a week. You'll just keep getting engagement across the week. A normal one would be like 2 days. A poor post will have a few hours of really good juice in it, and then it starts to get bumped down. LinkedIn has this kind of tier system built into its docs where on the back end, if it passes a certain threshold, usually roughly 500 views in the first hour, it'll bump to the next tier. It's shown to more people. And if it does well there, it gets shown to more people. And there, more people. And eventually, there actually is a human crew on LinkedIn's end that checks a box that says viral, and it gets shown to millions of people. That is not necessarily your goal, but that actually is the end of this, is a crew that says, yep, this one, boom. But until
And
then,
I've
it's
heard
just
that
algorithm tiers.
it's crucial in the tiering. I love how you explain the tiering thing. I didn't even know about that at all. Of course, I'm not a social selling guy either. But that I've heard that the first hour is crucial to a post. And some say that if you don't get any engagement in that first hour, it's better to actually take it off
Yeah.
and then wait a day and try it again. Like
Yeah.
sometimes even the same post, because maybe you just posted in the wrong time of the day, or the way that you put it out there was just, it just didn't hit. Is there any validity to that?
Oh, yeah. I'd say every maybe 12 to 15 posts, it's the wrong time. It doesn't land. I pull it off. I post the same thing again in a couple of days.
In a couple days?
Yeah, it doesn't, it's more just a whim of like, that one's not doing well, but only, 100 people have seen it. Screw it, pull it off, just throw it on later.
Yeah.
Because I don't actually want someone to go through my back catalog of posts and see one with 2 engagements. For
Right.
me, that I take that off. It's only good stuff. I don't
Right.
do that often, but I actually want to prevent that sense that people. I don't want people to think that I've ever posted something that is not valuable. I want to
Right.
have that signal strength be very high if they look through my stuff, and that is important for just demonstrating credibility. I think,
Right.
especially given the place that I'm in, but it goes for anybody too.
So share how many followers on LinkedIn you have.
It's in the 16,000s ish, and I have
Okay.
about 12,000 connections. So I have
Okay.
a
And then
few thousand more followers and connections.
okay, cool. And then in when you say it's getting good reaction in the first hour, of those 16,000 followers, because we know that not all of them are going to see it within that first hour, but how many engagements are you actually looking for in that first hour to consider it worthy to stay on the platform for the week?
If it gets, almost always it'll get 500 plus views in the first hour or so, which is fine. I actually don't pay too much attention in there. It's only if it gets like a pitiful amount of views that I just pull it off.
What would be a pitiable amount of views for you?
If it's like 100 views in an hour, I will just yank that thing off the board.
Gotcha.
That would
And
be
that just
pretty.
means that your followers are not online,
It
right?
could mean that they were confused about how to engage with it. Like sometimes you see a post and you're like, I don't want to hit the like button because that might send a weird message, or like, I don't want to put my stamp of approval on this because of whatever is in the post. I don't know how to comment. I don't know what to say. Think of it this way. If you're at a conference or in a coffee shop with someone and they say something and you're like, I don't know, like I'm stuck. Maybe people do that with their posts. They don't think about how would somebody actually respond to this in conversation. You should make it your post such that it's easy for them to respond coffee shop style with the reaction, a quip, something or other, or even just, yeah, totally agree with that. Don't think about it. It's a natural social behavior. And when you stop thinking about that, you create weird posts that make it very hard to react. Many people will accidentally, subtly insult their customer base with their post. And the customers are like, I don't want to do it. What are you talking to me? And their brain scrambles and they move on. They're like, that was weird. Forget about it. And so obviously they get no engagement because no one wants to put their stamp of approval virtually, their like or insight or celebrate or whatever reaction to it. So
Right.
run through your customer's mindset. Are they going to think this is weird? Are they going to feel good about it? You got to filter it through that lens first. Would you say this to a human? If you would not, probably do not post it on LinkedIn.
Gotcha. So you're focused more on the views that LinkedIn gives to your followers, obviously, versus the amount of engagement that same post is getting per the views.
Yeah, because lowest common denominator posts will get more engagement. And I don't really care about that. We've had clients of ours that we help with content marketing get 80 million views on a post or 100 million views on a post. And that's not good. What happens with that is they get thousands and thousands of likes and comments and hundreds of messages and not a single lead. So it just becomes a time suck for them for days. And that's actually bad. The way that people usually get from social selling, and we haven't talked about the direct message component yet and the approaching people component yet, but just from posting, they usually get it from the viewers that don't engage. Because what happens is the buyers, the people who are busy and have budget, they're not out there scrolling and liking and commenting on your stuff. Sometimes they are, but oftentimes it's their coworker or a friend or somebody else that engaged. And that person saw it and inspired them to take action. And they'll say, I saw your post, and they'll want to talk privately. They'll send you a message or submit a form, or they will ask their coworker to reach out. But the person who saw it is among those hidden viewers. They're usually not somebody who left a comment or a like or a great post. I love this. This is so cool. VPs of whatever at big companies don't do that.
No.
They just are more conservative with their social behavior. So I wouldn't worry too much about likes and comments. It's good to create a conversation, and you need that stuff to get the post seen. But know that your buyers will usually be lurking, as we would say, rather than right there in the front row of your digital talk.
I get that. So what would you tell someone who was looking to either start social selling this week or improve their social selling skills?
The most common reason people don't start is because they're very intimidated. They have fear around putting themselves out there. They say, I don't know anything. Who would listen to me? I don't know if this post is going to be good. Is it going to fall flat? Am I going to look stupid? Yeah. And they just don't do it. So the easiest way to start is actually not to start posting. It's just to be present on the platform a little more. People let their connection requests build up. They don't respond. Ideally, just start accepting requests from people that are reasonably relevant and send them a short, non-sales, just a note about something you like about their profile or background or something. That's easy. Side benefit that helps them see your content more. If you've engaged DMs with somebody or engaged with them publicly in any way, they're much more likely to see your content. That's one. A second thing, leave some comments. Could be on your coworkers' accounts, your CEO's post, your company's post. Start leaving some comments. It's a much lower friction way to start than writing content. When you leave a comment, do your best to go more than just great post. Agreed. Congratulations. Try to say something that kind of digs into the subject matter. It doesn't have to be your best stuff. Doesn't have to be a gold one-liner. Just And if you have really no opinions at all about anything, you shouldn't be doing this. Go keep learning at your job until you do. That's one thing. But assuming you have some opinions, start sharing them over comments in a pleasant but insightful way. Short, 1 or 2 lines. Eventually, once you have done that, maybe 3 to 5 comments a day for a week, try writing a post about the stuff you've learned that week. That's a simple way to start. You don't have to embark on a big grand cadence of 30-day, I post every day, juice cleanse version of LinkedIn social selling, which I see. Like, that's fine. And it works well for people if you really can commit to it. But way more people are intimidated by that than not. So I think the first thing to do is just talk with people that are saying interesting things via comments, via DMs, and you'll naturally start to see the positive feedback grow. More people will visit your profile. You'll see that number rise of views of your profile recently. People will engage with your comments, and that'll give you the confidence to continue. That's the way to get off the proverbial couch. It's not to go get a 6-pack and sign up for a gym membership with daily posting and video content and signing up for 20 podcasts. Just leave some comments. Make it easy on yourself, and don't put a huge burden on your back of, I got to make $4 million for my LinkedIn posts next year. You don't. It took me a while to do that. So take it easy, but don't do nothing, is my advice there.
Great. Awesome. Cool. That was for my video. So eventually this will all get actually on video on my YouTube. Right now it's just all podcast stuff. Oh, okay. I have your link for the affiliate link. I have your social media links that you gave me. I think that's all I needed right now. That's awesome. So how long were you posting were you ever posting every day on LinkedIn?
No, I started with maybe once in a while. And then recently I've been like, I should do twice a week because it's gonna be better. And it has been better.
It hasn't better. So, okay. Yeah. Cause I mean, I've heard conflicting data and points of view in that posting every day can actually confuse. Yeah. Posting another post the next day after a good post is getting engagement and views can actually confuse the algorithm. And you actually don't want to post after something's getting good traction in the first day. And I've watched, so I think we do 3 times a day. So I do every other day. Tuesday, Thursdays, I don't know what it is. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think is when we post, because like Mondays are dead days. And then I'll do some recycled stuff on the weekends just for people who are hanging out on the weekends. But yeah, I've noticed that some of my posts really actually don't take off for 3 or 4 days. Like as far as actual engagement. So like they'll get some views. We'll get 1 or 2 engagement. That's great. And then I only have 7,300. So I have like just about half of what, or less than half of what you have. And so one of my questions was actually self-centered in like, how many should I consider being? But if you're talking about views, and I'm thinking, okay, so if I get like 200 to 250 views in the first day, decent for the algorithm obviously thinks it's decent, right? Is that what you're saying for about that size?
For me, the cutoff has been 500 in the first hour. And that's, I think, more algorithmically, where if it breaches 500 in the first hour, it's going to reach a few more people.
So you're posting what, like at 9 o'clock in the morning, or are you posting before hours?
Typically roughly 9 a.m. Pacific time. And a lot of my followers are West Coast, so that makes sense for us. I also get East Coast lunch break, which is nice.
That makes sense. I'm in Central, so that's like at 8 a.m. No, actually, no, that's 6 a.m. No, I take that back. 9 a.m. is going to be 11 a.m., so it's right before lunch.
Yeah, like wherever.
I've got a lot of followers in Alaska still.
Oh.
They're even further back. But I find that they're the ones that end up engaging 2 or 3 days later. It's really, I'll have stuff that'll get engagement a week later. And I'm like, how are you seeing this in your feed still? Yeah, it's interesting. But once a week, and then you're usually, one of the things we didn't get to is like what time of day. Like the time of day is great, but what day of the week do you like to drop yours?
Usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like Tuesday and Thursday is ideal. Friday is usually less good. Occasionally a Saturday will work well, but it's usually midweek mornings. Midweek afternoons too work because you get the kind of evening engagers, and then that can propel you into the next morning too.
Gotcha.
With a little boost from UK.
Yeah, I guess I could probably take. So if I was doing like a Tuesday, Thursday, because I'm pretty consistent with 3 days a week now, but I also feel that my Thursday posts for whatever reason, do better regardless of what they are.
Yeah.
And that might be because there's not another post getting in the way for another 4 days, 5 days. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll just need to play with it more and be present with that metric. I've never even thought about that metric because I always thought that metric was pushed by engagement. You have people who literally comment on their own posts just to tell LinkedIn, hey, will you look at this?
That doesn't work. What that does is it visually changes the post from blank to one engagement, and people are more likely to engage if one has been there already. And it's a cheap thing, but you can do it. It's okay. For you, it's the most powerful thing will be to help people root for you beyond the marketing of it.
Okay.
So I'm not really getting to know you much. It's too like glossy. There's not a lot of personality in it, of your actual personality. More context. Like it's too short. Don't do a repost. Don't do a repost.
Okay.
This isn't bold enough. Like this is more opinions. Generally just dial up the opinionated nature of the stuff you're posting. That will help a ton because there's so many people sharing conservative opinions. I don't mean like politically. It's not to say enough. That would be the best.
So get rid of the Facebook and Instagram style posts on LinkedIn and just dial in on my microblogs. Because my microblogs, I call them microblogs, you call them social selling posts, are like usually between like 500-600, at least 500 or 600 words. I've gotten them up to the max characters for a post.
Yeah.
On a personal one. And those do well. Some of them do well and some of them don't. It depends on how I started. If I can get them hooked at the beginning, I don't know how much they read of it, but I get more engagement. When I do something controversial, like you were saying, like not politically controversial, but just against the norm of being a pragmatic, then yes, people are like, yeah, that Buzz, yeah, and that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm going to have to finish my social selling course, obviously, and get deeper in there. And I will point people there. And then I will do my follow-up as a kind of a reflection of what I've learned from this discussion and what I've learned from the social selling program, and then push people to that as well. So there'll be a whole show kind of as a monologue. It's usually between 4 and 8 minutes long, where I just dive in, reflection of the show, of our discussion.
Cool.
And I'll pull a couple of these little bits here that we talked about after we ended the broadcast into that show. So that'll push people back over to it as well. And hopefully we get some engagement there for you.
Right. Yeah. Let me know what I can do to help promote, especially if you have any clips from the editing. That's super easy. And don't be afraid to start, like when you post stuff, start building like a core group of asking a few people to jump on your post and engage with it and perfectly comment on it right when it drops. Give them the link. Just say, I just posted, and go to your profile and find it from there.
Okay.
Then that will jumpstart things. You want like a core group around you that's incentivized to see you do well. And then that'll catch on. Yeah. Let me know how I can help with this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Dropping on your feed obviously is going to help. That's always good. We always ask. I will send you an update with everything when it's I can't talk now. That's a good thing that happened now. I will let you know when it's getting ready to drop, and I will send you whatever we have for promoting it on social media.
Cool. It sounds great.
Good. Awesome. Appreciate your time.
You, man. Looking forward to doing this.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
See ya.